So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, one that can totally change how you look at, well, just about everything. Your job, your friendships, how you spend your time. It's all about the philosophy of finite and infinite games. And you know what's wild? It all started when a philosopher named James Cars was just watching his kids play a game and noticed something really odd.
Have you ever had this feeling? You work so hard for something, you compete, you finally get that win, and then nothing. Just this weird, hollow feeling. The chase is over. The game is done. It kind of makes you wonder, what if the point of the whole thing was never about winning in the first place?
And this is exactly what Carsey saw with his own kids. He noticed that when they were just messing around, making up rules as they went, they were having the time of their lives. But the second they started a formal game, one with a clear winner and a loser, all that joy just vanished the moment it was over. Even the winner wasn't happy. And that one little observation, well, it sparked a whole new way of looking at the world.
Yeah. That simple moment with his kids led Cars to this fascinating, almost contradictory idea about what it really means when we try to win. Think about it. It's a total paradox, right? In almost every game we know, sports, board games, even corporate ladder climbing, the entire goal is to win so the game can stop. Victory itself is the finish line. So in a weird way, you're actually playing for the sole purpose of ending the fun. You're playing not to play.
This realization was the key that unlocked a much bigger idea for Cars, that there are really only two kinds of games we play in our lives.
Okay, so on one side you've got finite games. The purpose is super clear, win, and the game is over. But on the other side you have infinite games, and here the purpose is the exact opposite, to keep the game going. A finite game is like a scripted play. It's theatrical. We know how it ends. An infinite game? That's more like improv. It's dramatic, and the future is totally unwritten.
We all know what a finite player looks like, right? They play within the boundaries. They learn the fixed rules inside and out. Also, they can bring the game to an end and be declared the winner. It's the student who's obsessed with getting that A. Once the grade is posted, for them, that specific game is totally over.
But an infinite player? They see the world completely differently. They play with boundaries. For them, rules aren't set in stone. They're more like flexible guidelines. They're totally willing to change things up just to keep the game going. And importantly, to bring more and more people into the fun. This is the student who just falls in love with learning itself and keeps going long after the final exam is done.
So this difference, playing within versus playing with boundaries, it leads to this really beautiful metaphor for how we see our own limits and potential.
Finite games are all about boundaries. Like the finish line in a race. It's a real place you can get to. It marks an inside and an outside, a winner and a loser. Its whole job is to stop the play. But infinite games, they don't have boundaries. They have horizons. A horizon isn't a place you can reach. It's just the edge of what you can see. And it moves with you, always inviting you to keep going.
Cars just nails it with this quote. You can walk towards the horizon your entire life, but you'll never ever reach it. Every step you take just reveals a new one. And that is the very heart of infinite play. It's a journey where the destination isn't the point, the journey is the point.
And here's the core principle, the big takeaway. To continue, you have to be willing to change. If you want to keep the game of your life or your career or a relationship going, you can't just stay the same. A marriage isn't a finite game you win on your wedding day. To keep that beautiful game in play for a lifetime, both people have to grow and adapt together. That is what it means to be an infinite player. Okay, so this brings us to what I think is the most empowering part of this whole philosophy, the incredible power you have to choose which games you play. Now, Carsey has a really specific definition of the word genius. He doesn't mean you have to be super smart. He's using it in its original Greek sense, which means origin or source. Being a genius in this view is simply about realizing that you are the source of your own actions.
So what does this mean for you, for me, for all of us? It means you are the genius of yourself. You are the source. You get to choose the games you play. You're responsible for how you play them. And maybe the most important part, you are never, ever stuck. You always have the freedom to just walk away from a game that isn't working for you anymore and start a completely new one.
All right, let's zoom all the way out now. Let's look at the biggest picture of them all and see how this whole philosophy ties everything together in the end.
This is it, the very last line of Cars's book. After explaining this whole incredible framework, he leaves us with this one simple, massive statement. There is only one infinite game. Whoa. So Why? Why can there only be one?
Well, the logic behind it is actually beautiful in its simplicity. See, if you had two infinite games, they would automatically create a boundary between them, right? This game would end where that one begins. And as we just learned, an infinite game by its very nature cannot have an external boundary that ends it. So logically, all of existence, all of life, all of play, it must all be part of one single, all-encompassing infinite game. So, we're left with this incredibly empowering thought. You are the genius of yourself, the source of your actions, a player in the one great infinite game. The finite games you decide to play within it, your job, your hobbies, your goals, that's all your choice. So the question becomes, what kind of game are you going to play today? One that's designed to end, or one that keeps the play going for everyone?